team volume points. So again, let's just assume coach number one, lefty, is your spouse, and they don't sign any other coaches. Well, if they let's just say you end up signing a couple more coaches and put them directly under your spouse to so that they are emerald, then they're going to start cycling from coaches 3, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and so on. And again, they're not doing anything, but again, that's income coming into the same household. So that's why I say sign your spouse up as early as possible, because you want them at the top, so that they start benefiting from all the coaches beneath you. All right, so now here we go. Over on your right-hand side, you have a non-personally sponsored coach that signed up. They're labeled here as coach number 9, but they weren't sponsored by coach number 4 or coach number 2 on your right-hand side, and you're wondering, where did they come from? Well, I think this is another point to mention where a lot of coaches get confused on where that coach came from. Well, it just so happens that the coach that you signed up under, they get to do the same thing. They only have a right leg and a left leg. So as they continue to sign coaches, it just so happens that they get placed where coach number 9 is. So you get to benefit from your upline, as they're called. So as they sign coaches up, after you've signed up, then again, that's volume for you that is going to start helping you out in order to start accumulating cycle bonuses. And this is going to come into play a little bit later in this presentation when we start talking about strong leg and weak leg, because what you'll see here is your right-hand side is considered your strong leg, because that's the side that you were placed by your coach. And so like coach number 9, again, was placed on your right-hand side, you're going to see that continue to build. And again, in this scenario, you just see one, but it can be multiple coaches if you got a strong coach ahead of you. So now coach number 9 signs coach number 10. And again, you did not personally sponsor them into the business, but they're considered part of your organization. So you can see very quickly how this system can grow. And it doesn't take very many personally sponsored coaches by you to build a pretty hefty organization. In this particular example, you can see you have 6 personally sponsored coaches labeled in blue, but you have a total of 11 coaches in your organization. Now, let's look at a scenario where we just assume that all of the coaches in this example are drinking Shakeology only. They're not getting any customers themselves. They're just ordering Shakeology. And we're going to look at how much volume this is going to accumulate for you. The left-hand side has 6 coaches. So Shakeology is worth 90 personal volume points, or PV, which is a total of 540. And LV, that stands for left volume. Over on the right-hand side, you have 5 total coaches. That's 90 PV if they're all on Shakeology. 90 times 5 is 450 right volume. Now, how does a cycle work? Well, let's look at a simple example on how that would work. And again, if you go back to the previous slide where we mentioned the third rule, you have to have a total of 300 volume points, 200 on one side and 100 on the other, in order for you to cycle. So let's look at on the bottom left-hand side of this. On the left-hand side, you've got 540 volume points. On the right, you have 450 volume points. So the side that has the most volume points would be considered your strong leg. That's the side that we're going to subtract 200 volume points from. Okay? On the right-hand side, you only subtract 100. Because when you combine the two, that's 300. You have at least 300. So let's look at the left-hand side. If you subtract out 200 volume points, you're left with 340. Same thing on the right. You subtract 100, you're left with 350. Now, what does that do? Well, every time that you accumulate at least 300 total volume points, and you do the math like we just did, then you will cycle one time. And again, if you're an emerald rank, you'll make $14 for each time you cycle. So if you just keep going down, where on the left-hand side now, it has 340, the right-hand side has 350. So that means that the right-hand side is considered your strong side now because it has more than the left. I hope you're following that. So now from the right-hand side, we're going to subtract 200 because, again, that's your strong side. It has more. The left-hand side only subtracts 100. You earn another $14. You keep going down, 240 and 150. The side with 240 is now your strong side, and so on. So in this particular scenario, you would earn a total of $42 as an emerald coach, a little more than that as a ruby, and more than that as a diamond. Now, let's take this a step further, because if you recall earlier, I said that you can earn up to 96 cycles per day. So we're going to look at this on a per day basis, okay? Now, for this particular example, I'm going to use the cursor just so I can kind of point. I don't want to lose anybody on this spreadsheet, so let's try and follow this. Okay, for the purposes of this example, we are going to simplify it a little bit and assume that all 11 coaches are going to be ordering Shakeology in the same pay period. Now, a pay period, as we all know, we get paid weekly. And that pay period runs from 12:01 in the morning on Thursday all the way to midnight the following Wednesday. So it's from Thursday to Wednesday. That's a pay period. So now let's look at the left-hand side on Thursday. Coach number 1, order Shakeology, okay? That is worth 90 volume points. So that actually goes into your column here over here for total left-hand volume. So now you have 90 volume points on your left side. Come Friday, coach number 2 orders Shakeology, and that's again worth 90. So now at the end of Friday, you've got 90 volume points on your left side and 90 on your right. And it continues to carry from day to day until you cycle, okay? So let's look at Saturday. On Saturday, you've got coaches 3, 5, and 6 all ordering Shakeology. So what we're going to do here on your left-hand side, you take this total here of 90 and you add 90 plus 90 plus 90, okay? That equals 360 volume points. Okay, I hope you all saw that because 90 times 3 is 270 plus 90 is 360. That's how much volume you have on your left-hand side at the end of Saturday.